We are going to show you a traditional Hawaiian dish. I'm not sure what they call it now, but it used to be called long rice noodles. Long rice isn't made out of rice, it's made out of cellophane bean thread noodles, and they come in a variety of packages. I've lost the one that you're likely to see in the supermarket, but just look for a transparent kind of bean thread noodle. It can also be a rice noodle, but what you're actually making is a delicious noodle dish, and it does look like very long rice, like almost spaghetti length. So it is a fun thing to serve as a side dish. There are many ways on YouTube of how to make this dish. But the one I liked said, make your own broth because it's richer when the bones have been boiled with the meat. So I get these packages. I hate to share this because I'm afraid that I'm going to regret everybody knowing this. But every once in a while, Sam's Club will take their rotisserie chickens and divide them. You can get either breast meat or the leg and thigh. And this whole package came to $4. I'm using half a package for this recipe. And what you do is you take 1 quart of water, just pour it in a pan, and then you take half of the meat that comes in this size. So I'm putting $2 worth of meat in there. And of course I'm impatient. We'll start this right now, but I'm impatient. So
it's 2¼ pounds.
Okay, 2¼ pounds. That's a lot of meat. So that you can see what I did with the other half, I've already made my broth, and this much meat is $2 worth of chicken.
Wow.
And it is delicious. We had a little bit more a few minutes ago, but I hadn't eaten breakfast. It makes a lot of chicken, probably more than you would actually want in your long rice.
So it makes it just a little over a pound if you divide it in half. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So taking away for the bones, you've got a pound of meat. You need to make the recipe, which I'll show you in a minute. We need 2 quarts of chicken broth. So we've already made a quart of our homemade. So I have 1 cup of water measured in this pan, and I have my good broth, but I'm going to amp it by putting in better than bouillon. Says you need 1 teaspoon per cup. So I need a teaspoon and a tablespoon. And because we're making this rich, I'm going to guess that that is a teaspoon and a tablespoon. And the noodles will carry extra flavor, so you really don't have to be that careful. But what you want to end up with is a rich chicken broth. The homemade broth that you've already made to get that meat off the bones from Sam's Club. I used Chuck's trick.
Oh.
The meat and the broth together is costing $2, and then whatever that small amount of better than bouillon cost. This is a very low cost dish. I'm really sorry that I can't show you what these look like packaged. I bought these noodles at U.S. Chef Store, and I put them there. They come fresh, and I don't know how long that they'll keep in the fridge, so I repackaged them for servings. And with all of that chicken, I want to make at least 3 servings of long rice. So when this comes to a boil, we'll be ready for the long rice. The flavorings that I'm going to add to this boiling broth is 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. I'm using freeze-dried ginger. I think in a pinch, if you don't have fresh ginger, you could use just ground ginger. But the ginger is important. I'm going to use half the amount, 1 tablespoon because it is freeze-dried, so it's stronger. Okay, I'm adding the last of the 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Then the very last flavor you need this is freeze-dried chives. You could use green onions or chives, either one. And you need quite a lot. This is like 1/4 of a cup. So it's boiling now. And it's time to add the noodles. This is subjective because it depends on what kind of noodles you've gotten. And so just don't plan on it being a certain amount of time. Just watch it. When it's done, serve it. I'm going to add the chicken last. And I'm not sure we need all that chicken. So this would make excellent chicken salad if you have leftovers. And I would say just do that according to taste. So you simmer this until the noodles are tender. And then you serve it. It's good as a side dish. Traditionally, it's served at luau's along with Kahlua pig, fresh vegetables, salads, yams, and what's the other thing? Oh, did I say Kahlua pig?
Yeah.
It's really, really good as a side dish in a Hawaiian luau.
Do they always put meat in it? Or if it's a side dish and you're having the Kahlua pig, you don't add the meat?
I wish I could answer that because I'm not Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I think you can just wing it in what you've got. Actually, chunks of pork would be delicious if you had some. This would be good as a main dish if you put enough chicken in it. You don't need, it's a comfort food. And then again, the thing is, they serve it both soupy and like spaghetti. And you just let it boil until you have what you need. The noodles will be absorbing some of this broth. But the original recipe that I got and I trust says 2 quarts of chicken broth. But you can see that I just guessed on the noodles. So it's not exact. Trust the recipe that we post. That is a 10.5 ounce bean thread noodles, which I cannot find. We've looked all over and cannot see. I had it this morning. I had it 2 hours ago, and it's not here now.
So do the noodles expand like spaghetti does?
Not as much as spaghetti, but they get transparent. You can almost see that now, that they're getting transparent. This is still raw because you can see, looks like cooking spaghetti. But the difference is when it's completely cooked, it's noodles that you can see. That's why the nickname for it is cellophane noodles.
Transparent.
There are a lot of Oriental dishes that use these noodles.
I've eaten them before, I just never made them.
Never. And they're very simple to make, especially if you remember where you put the bean thread noodles. But this way of making the recipe that I followed said having good chicken broth is a good part of this. And then fresh grated ginger is over the top. But this is a very common dish in Hawaii. And it's not only served in luau's, but of course those of us who aren't Hawaiian only think of a luau menu. And it's starting to simmer more, and I'm stirring it more for some reason.
Do you wait till the end to put the...
I'm thinking it's already well cooked, but maybe this is near enough to the end. It'll help absorb. The meat will also absorb some. And I think I'm only going to put half of this meat in because we are going to serve this with Kahlua pig. And our Kahlua pig is coming up soon. So we'll be back when it's time to serve. We're ready to sample the long rice. And as you can see, all of that liquid has been absorbed. You can control how much liquid you want in there. And so we're ready to see what we all think of Hawaiian long rice. Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
This is a good side dish to serve anytime, and it's kind of on the comfort food
I
level
would say so.
where it just makes you feel secure and warm. To have this, it's very quick to fix, and remember the trick about buying all parts of rotisserie chicken and using those parts to make the broth and prepare the meat.
You know, I've eaten these, you know, transparent noodles. Never knew what they were called or what they were. So I'm really glad to learn that. They're yummy.
Joanne's daughter and family lived in Hawaii for a number of years, so she's visited a long time. So we're sorry we're not sure exactly what this is called. The first time I heard about it, it was just called long rice, even though it isn't technically rice.